Thank you for attending the Upper North Creek Stormwater Management Action Plan virtual meeting. My name is Dennis Sandstrom, and I'll be facilitating tonight's call. Before we begin, I wanted to note we do have a Spanish language channel available in Zoom. If you are interested in that, information about how to join the call or join that channel, I'm sorry, is on the screen now. I'm going to leave this up for just a few more seconds in case those who need it can read those instructions. But if you're curious, there is a opportunity to click the interpretation button at the bottom, and you'll have an opportunity then to select your language. In this case, it's Spanish or English tonight.
Hey, Dennis, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
I'm not seeing the presentation. Is everybody else seeing that?
I
I
see it.
see it.
Oh, okay, just
That's okay. Good to double check that before we get too far into it, that's for sure. All right. With that, interpretation information there, I'm going to go ahead and click the next slide. Before we go any further into the presentation, we'd like to do some quick introductions of the project team on the call today. We're going to start with Arthur. Would you like to unmute yourself and go ahead and start with your introduction?
Good evening. Thank you for coming to our meeting and presentation on Upper North Creek Stormwater Management Action Plan, or SMAP. My name is Arthur Lee. I'm with Snohomish County. I'm a supervisor of the Drainage System Management Work Group and working with Jennifer Adams and the Upper North Creek Stormwater Management Action Plan team. Thank you.
Thanks, Arthur. Jennifer, sorry.
great. Hi, I'm Jennifer Adams, project specialist with Snohomish County Surface Water Management Team, and I'm the project manager for this project.
Thanks. Alexa.
Hi there, Alexa Ramos Cummings, Senior Planner, focused on public involvement for this project.
Great. Yeah, and last but not least, again, my name is Dennis Sandstrom. I'm a strategic communications practitioner and lead our engagement team on the consulting side, and I'm with HDR. So tonight I'm going to be playing MC, facilitating tonight's presentation. We just have a few logistics to go through before we jump into the meat of the presentation. Please note that we are encouraging people to engage with us via the chat feature or the Q&A button in Zoom. So please don't be shy about using those. We do have those who are attending on mute, just for sake of wanting to record this presentation and potentially use this for engagement later. But we do, again, encourage you to ask those questions and use those prompts or respond to the prompts that we're going to be giving in the chat later on as we go through this. And lastly, if you have or need or interested in closed captioning, that is also available via Zoom, and that function should be under the ellipses more button if it's not just immediately available on your screen. If you have any questions or you're having technical difficulties, please go ahead and just chat the host and panelists as well, and we can try to troubleshoot that for you as we go through tonight. As far as our agenda, we are, well, nearly through number one on this list, the welcome and some webinar logistics. We're then very soon going to dig into the project background, why improvements are needed, our proposed actions, cover the project schedule, and then if needed, we have time at the end to answer any additional questions that folks don't necessarily share with us at the top or while we're going through the presentation, sorry. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Jennifer to start talking about the project background. Jennifer.
Great. Thanks, Dennis. And thank you all for attending tonight. I'm going to start with a little bit of the background, then walk through some proposed actions and end with the kind of the next steps for the project. We can go to next slide. So the Stormwater Management Action Plan, or the SMAP for short, is required under the county's National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit. And that permit requires Snohomish County to carry out actions that limit pollution from entering and leaving the county's storm drainage system. Excuse me while I get a little oriented with my slides here. So in the picture to the right there, we have a parking lot with some cars parked there and a drain in the foreground that shows some kind of substance entering the storm drain. That substance can travel through other pipes and wind up in our creeks. So the Stormwater Management Action Plan will identify actions that can help improve water quality in the Upper North Creek watershed. That's the why we're doing this project here. I'm going to be talking a little bit about watershed. So I'm going to give a definition of the watershed, which is an area of land that separates waters flowing to different rivers, streams, or oceans. So again, looking at the graphic on the right, when rain falls in the area depicted here, all of it eventually drains to the waterway at the low spot on the land. And so all of this area is a watershed. Sometimes watersheds are like nesting dolls, but each are defined by the water body in which they drain to. We'll see kind of more of this on the next slide. So next slide, yeah, there we go. The Upper North Creek watershed is part of the Cedar-Sammamish watershed. And so sometimes we call that Upper North Creek watershed a sub-basin because it's kind of a smaller piece of a bigger part. You can see in the colorful map on the left that there are many smaller watersheds like Swamp Creek, Little Bear Creek, Lion Creek, and others that eventually flow into the Sammamish River and then into Lake Washington. So what we're looking at, though, is the portion of the Upper North Creek watershed in unincorporated Snohomish County that is that 2.8 square mile section of the purple outlined polygon on the right, that in the white with the white background. 128th Street divides the watershed kind of in the middle, and I-5 divides it sort of on a diagonal there. In the chat, we would love to hear what cross streets that you live near or work near or spend kind of your most time in the watershed in this area. You can see that this little polygon, this purple polygon on the right is just a small piece of the entire North Creek watershed, which is that green polygon on the left map, that light green area. So again, this watershed is a little bigger than the area we're looking at, but this is kind of that upper piece that is part of unincorporated Snohomish County. Upper North Creek experiences seasonal flows and during heavy rain events. And it is home to several types of fish. Okay, next slide. Why improvements are needed. So, yep, next slide. I'm going to talk a little bit about why we chose Upper North Creek and the toxic chemical about 6-ppdq. So we're learning that 6-ppdq is harmful to fish. And so this project focuses on reducing 6-ppdq from entering the creek. 6-ppdq is a chemical that is used in manufacturing of tires. And so, 6-ppd is a chemical used in the manufacturing of tires. When 6-ppd is exposed to ozone, it turns into 6-ppdq. And this 6-ppdq is what we're finding is harmful to fish. If we're looking at the graphic on the right, the way this impacts fish is that starting from the top of the graphic, the rain falls on the roadway, the tire particles that are sitting on the roadway get washed into the storm drain grate and then move through a pipe or a ditch and eventually wind up in the creek. When fish are migrating during storm events, they become exposed to the chemical 6-ppdq. And in the chat, if you have heard of 6-ppdq before, if you could type the word salmon. Ben, thanks, just heard about it for the first time 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we're just kind of learning how impactful this is in our streams. Okay, next slide. So the county chose 6-ppdq as the pollutant of concern to focus on for the project. When we looked at all the watersheds in the county, we discovered that Upper North Creek has a lot of roads that could contribute to 6-ppdq in the streams. So it has a lot more road density than some other watersheds in the county. 6-ppdq flows from the roads to the creeks during rainstorms through more pipes than other watersheds. So the graphic to the right shows a waterway with some fish in it and some water coming out of a pipe into the stream there. And that water coming out of the pipe could be containing 6 ppdq if it's coming from parking lots or roadways. So North Creek has a lot of these types of pipes that drain directly into the creek. And then we also know that coho and Chinook salmon live in Upper North Creek, so that's important when we're thinking about fish populations and trying to prevent some harm to them. Next slide. So it's a little bit about why we chose Upper North Creek and the pollutants we're trying to address. So the next I'll talk about the management actions and new treatment systems that we're thinking about. So this slide kind of shows 4 different management actions that we're considering. Things like providing additional maintenance, like street sweeping would be the first action. The second one is working with light rail, transportation organizations, and neighboring communities on ways to reduce tire dust. The third is supporting tree planting, streamside restoration, and preservation projects. And the fourth would be adopting best available science for treating 6 ppdq. Next slide, thank you. We're also considering some new stormwater systems that will filter the water before it reaches the creek. We developed priority areas by looking at where there were a lot of roads and a lot of traffic, but not a lot of stormwater systems that filter 6 ppdq. We evaluated site conditions at sort of a very high level to determine whether it's practical to put treatment systems in different locations. And so far, we've identified 12 potential sites for treatment systems. However, more engineering and study needs to be done. So as we move through this project, this number may not stay the same. I wanted to just describe the map to the right a little bit. So this map is showing the priority areas that we identified, with the red tone in the background being the area that we considered high priority, mostly because there's a lot of roads in that area without a lot of treatment. The red dots on the map are potential below ground treatment facilities, and the green dots on the map are potential above ground treatment facilities. Next slide. So in the last, we were talking about above ground and below ground systems, treatment facilities. And this slide has some graphics on what those above ground and underground systems could look like. So the above ground, there's a little cartoon on the left with kind of a real life picture of what it might look like. And then the underground has the picture of the kind of a vault with some pipes coming in and out. And the right-hand side has a picture of what it would look like in real life. Both of these systems use the same filtering media. It's just how they're constructed on the landscape. Some things that you might that we consider for underground versus above ground. The above ground takes up more open space. They are cheaper to build and maintain, and there's opportunity to put some plants in them. The underground systems don't take up open space, so that gives us some flexibility on where to build them, but they are more expensive to build and maintain. Next slide. All right, so there's also some actions that you can take which will help keep North Creek clean. I can go through the list, and while we don't expect that you do all of these things, we'd like you to consider doing 1 or 2 of them. And if you could put in the chat some things that you think you might do in the future, just by the number of the action. We don't need to write down the whole thing. So we would really love it if you could take the survey about the Stormwater Management Action Plan, and we'll have a link to that for you in the chat and at the end of the presentation. There's ways to stay informed about the project as we move forward through the next little under a year here on the website that we can give you a link to. So great, I think that's already on the chat there. Report drainage problems to the county's experts. If you see ponding or flooding, feel free to give the county a call. The same thing if you see any pollution, if you see brown water running in the stream, or like that first storm drain picture that we looked at with something kind of funky running into it. We have experts here who can come take a look and help figure out what that's coming from. Take a walk on the stream, along the stream corridor. There's a nice trail in McCollum Park to just enjoy and look at the water and enjoy some shade in the summertime, even under the trees. Learn more about other county stormwater programs like our rainscaping program, natural yard care programs. And then one of the really most important things you can do is share the information with a friend. And I see that Lily has put the pollution hotline and the drainage phone numbers in the chat for your reference. Okay, schedule and funding. I think there's just one slide here on schedule and funding, but it's kind of dense. So on the left-hand side are in English the county actions and the milestones, and on the right-hand side is the translation into Spanish. So it's giving the same information. Right now, we're in this early public input and engagement phase of the project, with the survey staying open for the next month or so. And then we'll spend the summer defining projects and actions and writing a draft for the plan. In September, there'll be another opportunity for public input on the document. And then, according to our regulatory requirement under the NPDES permit, we have to have the document complete by March 31st, 2027. From 2027 to 2033, we will implement whatever short-term projects are identified in the plan. And then 2034 to 2047, implementing any long-term projects that are identified in the plan. And then the funding for this project comes through existing stormwater utility fees and outside grant funds. Okay, last slide is just questions and answers. The link here, the QR code, takes you to the Stormwater Management Action Plan webpage, and one of the very first links at the top of that page is the link to the survey for the plan. And so I think from here we can take questions. I see in the chat, McCollum Park Trail is excellent in all seasons. Thank you. A roadside swale or rain garden filter out the 6 ppd. Yes, so we've learned that there is a bioengineered soil that is often used in swales and rain gardens that does help filter out 6 ppdq.
And I'm not seeing other questions at the time, but this is a great opportunity for folks to write those into the chat if you have them. I appreciate the engagement in the chat so far. It's fantastic. It's great to see folks' comments and letting us know how you want to engage. One note, just to say that if you still haven't had an opportunity to do so, to take the survey, as Jennifer was saying, there was even a comment about saying they're going to share it with their local neighborhood association. That's great. If there's any spot like that that you can think of that we can try to get the word out about getting information on this, we'll gladly take it. So please let us know how we can do that, and we'll get a hold of you. If you haven't already, if we don't have your email address or you aren't on our email list, you can also put your email in the chat, and we will make sure to sign you up for the list of our listserv, I should say, for those that are receiving updates about this particular effort and other stormwater plans and things happening at the county.
Thank you. And I realize that my contact information is not on this slide. It is on that web page if you have questions moving forward. Maybe we could also just throw that in the chat. I'll do that.
Yeah, great. All right. Of those on the call, any other questions, thoughts, reactions? We'll give it a few moments for you to type those in. All right, we got one person to sign up for the email list. Thank you. All right. Well,
I will also
not
note, sorry,
yeah,
Dennis, to
please.
interrupt, but I will
No,
also note that we intend to post this webinar on the web page. So if you do want to share that with any of your homeowners association or other friends or community members, it'll be available to watch after we get it posted.
great. Well, I'm not seeing any additional questions. So we'll probably go ahead and end the webinar for today. But again, thank you for taking the time to be on the call, to be here on a busy weekday night, I'm sure, to learn more about what the county is doing and how we can all take actions to improve what's happening in Upper North Creek. Again, if you're interested in wanting to stay connected with us as we move forward through this process, please share your email with us in the chat. You can also leave your contact information while taking the survey, or reach out to us at any time. Happy to talk to you about this project and anything else going on with the county and what we're working on. So again, thank you all for being here tonight. Appreciate the opportunity to share some information with you. And with that, we're going to go ahead and end the webinar. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the night.